Hey, welcome back to Milton Daily Homes. Chuck here. We got a list of 35 homes. Welcome to the spring market, I guess. I sent an email out on the weekend about a flight Colin and I did about 1,000 feet up over Milton, and hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to put a link below the video to that. And so today we've got 34 listings, believe it or not. And the strange thing is, it actually starts off with $1 million home. I sorted them by price. It's on Purdy. It is 4,200 square feet. It's on, I think it's about an acre or two of property. It's one of those estate lots up in up by Guelph and 15th, and it looks nice. I mean, they purchased it a couple years ago for not a whole lot less than what they're asking. So it's been out for a while, off and on the market, but I think that for the right buyer, I mean, it is the value for what you pay for that size of home. We've got this one in Costigan at 265.9, so we're dropping the price all the way down, then we're going to scoop it back up again. 1 bedroom plus one, between 799 square feet. Maintenance fees are $221. It's on the first floor, so it's one of those things that depends a lot on which way it faces. If it faces the front of the building, far less desirable than the back where you see the ravine and everything else. But it's a pretty decent layout, and I think the price is sort of basically, within line for a 1 bedroom plus den. Hasselfeld is 317.9. We've got one of the Ashfield Cherry Hill models, but 1051 square feet. We've got some upgraded floors here. What happened with this model is that they were sort of looking like they were heading up, and then there were two sales that I thought were a little bit low in the month of March, so it kind of screwed the whole game up for these guys. And so 317 is sort of in line with what I'd expect. This one on Frank Place is actually the exact same floor plan and a little bit different flooring, dark. Really, you're going to see a couple homes today that just went nuts on the tiling on the walls. But the upgraded flooring upstairs, it's got some value, definitely. So 319, they're all within line. I haven't seen one of these lists for 320 in the longest time. They've all been under 320. So Spire's 344.9, and I'm not sure which model it is. It's a 3-bedroom. I was looking at the room sizes. Hard to tell. It's one of the 3 stories though, so you're getting the same style as the 2 previous ones. It's just larger. Riddell Court is, or Crescent actually, Riddell Crescent 364.8. It's 1130 square feet. The big value proposition on this one is the backyard, and I think we profiled this one last week, but it looks like the photos have been enhanced. Nice looking flooring on the main level. You've got some dark cabinets, nice backsplash. They might get it. I mean, this model has seen a little bit of appreciation in the last few months. They've kind of slowly crept up through a couple of the sales. But we've also seen this model with a finished basement in the month of January, as recent as that, sell for like $330. So it's very interesting. I'll be looking at this one. I think it may set a bar. It might actually sell for a good number and really set the bar higher for these models. The green space is probably worth between $5,000 and $10,000. Spire Circle is 365. It's the corner. So what you get on the corner is you get this extra little room here. You could use it as an office or an extra little TV room. Main floor, second floor basically is what you see here. Pretty open concept, and that I don't know about. It's easy to fix, but boy, I don't know if every buyer is going to love the color of that wall. You're facing the train tracks. You're also facing the park off to the other side. Same model as this was listed recently, and actually I don't think they were listed for this much. So better value on the other one, being that close to the train tracks. I doubt they're going to get that price. So Nadlin Heights is 379. It's an Emery model. You're going to see a bunch of Emery models in this list. So it's just plain Jane. It's not a whole lot. It's got a good floor plan, 1,370 square feet. You've got a master ensuite with a shower, no tub. And the thing about this one that I don't like is they basically said that there's no homes behind. There will be homes behind. It's zoned for that. It's going to happen. So it's a little bit of false advertising, because even though they're not there now, guess what? They're coming. Attenborough is the same model, 394.9, with some hardwood floors, but you don't get appliances. The other one, at least you get some appliances, and you can put some hardwood in at 379. $5,000 for hardwood on the main floor should definitely cover you. Probably you don't even need to budget that much. And beyond that, so I would say the value on the other one, everybody chases the upgrades in the hardwood floors, but I wouldn't pay $15,000 for that and then still have to invest another $5,000 in appliances. Doesn't make any sense. So I definitely see more value in the other one. Higginbotham is $399, same model. There's no photos. I just think this is too high. We see the Croftside model, which is similar to this one, end unit with finished basements that are getting 390, but 399 for this just does not make sense in my eyes. Robert, there's another one here on Robert. A similar model, I think, was at 389, listed about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. Nice thick crown moldings here, and it definitely shows well. There's no doubt about it. You've got green space behind. And yeah, I mean, there's not many of these that do end up selling, so it's a little hard to do the research. You kind of look and say, okay, what else can you get? For example, like the farmstead ones might be a comparable property, but in many ways completely different. So Laurier is at 4059, and so deceivingly large. These homes are actually very big. There's 5 different levels in this home, 3 bedrooms plus 2 further ones downstairs. Usually a walkout to the backyard. And yeah, you know, it's not bad. I mean, the ones with the double car garage are going up in the 430, 440 range. And so Farmstead, this is the one I was talking about that might compare to something like Robert, at least the ones that back onto green space. Now this one, in fact, is it's about 1,500 square feet, very open concept. And you've got 2 smaller rooms in the front. The master's huge, and you have a great looking view of the parking lot for the retirement home. So if that's your thing, go for it. I think 409 is a little bit ambitious for them. Menifee is about 16 something square feet, 1650, 1680. You've got a townhouse with parquet, which is tough, backing onto a nice pond. So there is a little bit of privacy in the backyard. I think a townhouse with parquet, regardless of the pond. We talked about McKay, how much that's actually worth. Would this one sell for 405 without that? I'd say highly unlikely. So they're probably a little bit high there. Lavery Heights is 419, and so we've got an end unit, slight pie-shaped lot, nice colored floors here. And yeah, it just, I don't know. I get the end unit, I get some of the value here, but I really don't see this one selling at 419. Aird Court is 419 as well. It's Heathwood home, and it looks like a Robindale, which is about 1,600 square feet. That looks like something out of the Matrix to me. I don't know if I love the way that looks, but it is a pretty open concept design. It is a popular floor plan too, and the Heathwoods do command a bit of a premium. And it's nice that you're tucked a little bit further away from the train tracks on this one here. For some reason, the Lavery Heights one popped up twice. I apologize about that. Petigru's been out for a while. There's no photos on this one, but it's got a basement apartment. It faces Thompson Road, and it sides onto Maple. Home Depot's right across the street, Sunset Grill, all that stuff, which is good, I guess. I mean, if you're talking about convenience, but I don't know if I love the location. You get all the lights. You get those big lights from the shopping plaza that you'd see all the time, plus the road noise from Thompson. The street itself is actually pretty quiet. If you don't live on Pettigrew, most people have never even been on Pettigrew if they're not visiting a friend. Waters is 422, 222, semi-detached with a finished basement. And no photos on this one here too, so you've got 1,745 square feet plus the finished basement. Possibly. I mean, it really is going to depend on the photos. There's a bunch of homes in today's list that are just sort of blah. They're just boring boxes. 422.9 is this one here. 1,891 square feet, but you're not sure if that includes the actual finished basement. That's the problem, is that there's a lot of people quoting square footage these days, and I feel sorry for the buyers that don't know, because you could be making your comparison online and it could have no relevance to reality. The proper square footage is above ground, so it's first and second floor. The basement is something that's separate, and it's really, really annoying to do research on. 439 to me, I don't know, for this one here, 1,670 square feet with 224 square feet in the basement is just not my ideal. So if you have a look through this one here, it's only like 1,500 square feet. You're seeing much better value in a lot of other places besides this one on Ruddy. So they're just, I call them BBBs, big boring boxes, and they just have no appeal in my eyes. A lot of times, in fact, I'm just skipping them. Just let's get someone in, let's get some personality in these homes, because they're just boring to me. So Featherstone is 454, 800. Detached home. There are some homes on the street that are linked by the foundation, but this one looks like it is detached. It's got 2-car parking in the driveway. That key lime pie garage is not really doing it for me. So Applewood, big surprise, got an offer over the weekend. It was a hot listing when it came out, and you could see the I mean, the finishes in here are fantastic at 459.9. It's a pretty spectacular home. So I know a lot of the real estate community was really buzzing about this one when it did in fact come out. And you can see the renovated bathrooms. You've got nice HDR photography here. This one was killing it, crushing it. It's only one bathroom in the house, which you know, that might be its only downside really. Transom Crescent is 459, and guess what? It's a BBB. It's a big boring box, and you know, I look at this and I go, man, the price, like townhouse 459, like immediately my gut sort of turns, and I understand it may be big, 2150 square feet. I don't know. To me, it just doesn't make any sense. Dow Landing is 462.9, and it resembles a BBB, but it actually has furniture in it. But yeah, you know, it's just okay to me. The photographer kind of like it. They didn't do a very good job on the photos. Sorry, I just flipped the screen there. About 2,500 square feet of living space. This one on Ruddy, actually a similar model, sold for like 5 something. Semi-detached, about 2,000 square feet plus the finished basement, but they quote it as 2,500 square feet. And I'm going to skip it because I find it very annoying. Lederman is 519, and so they're a 1624 square foot home, fridge but no stove. I understand that they put some upgrades into this one. Mattamy crushed these guys on the cost for stucco and brick, and most sellers think that they get true value for what they paid for that. Guess what? You don't. Okay, so these models have sold for 470, 480. I think they're gonna have a really tough time at 520. I'd be surprised if they sold. Night Trail is 529. Really like this one here. It's got a finished basement, I believe, with a separate kitchen and 4 bedrooms. The kitchen almost looks like it's... Here's the thing about that style of ceiling is that it's shiny. I think you do a flat ceiling with that kind of waffle design, it looks a lot better, but you can't deny that there's been some upgrades. There's a little railing here because there's a room above the garage. I've seen people put a fish tank in here, which is kind of cool, but you've got this half wall, which is nice because there is a little bit of openness, but you can still put a couch against that wall there. And then you've got your family room upstairs, and then you've got your bedrooms, and you can see the kitchen downstairs. So nice design. Night Trail is close to a lot of things. It's close to the highway if you need to get onto it, close to the GO train. And 529 is, I think, very, very good. More than 2,000 square feet plus a finished basement at that price should do very well. It's one of my favorite picks of the day. This one on Snyder is 564, and you can see that they've really, I mean, the driveway is an indication that they've certainly spent some money on this one. You've got a premium lot here. You've got a neat little spot where you can hang out on the front. The home itself is not big though. We're talking less than 2,000 square feet. So you could buy a home 400 or 500 square feet larger than this one if you wanted to for the same price. So you're really banking on the quality on this one to give these guys the money versus the size. Landsborough 588, 997, which is kind of an interesting price. It's about 2,477 square feet. I find the layout awkward. I find this place is really hard to put a dining table. The dimensions aren't really good. Family room to me is a little bit small, and it does have that separate entrance, which is very enticing. I think a lot of people could use that, even for a home-based business. But here's the thing: these models sell for big money. I don't always understand why, but to be honest, they're not that far off. I wouldn't be surprised if I saw this one get an offer at that price. It's not my favorite design though. So Sales Court is about 2,300 square feet. You've got a courtyard backyard, so you've got all this land in front, but essentially your backyard is wedged between a separate garage and the rest of the house. So 2,300 square feet plus a finished basement. Laminate floor is not crazy upgraded, but they've upgraded the floors on the second floor, and you can see what's down in the basement. 3 bedrooms basically, 4 washrooms, including one in the basement, a 5-piece in the basement. It's a tricky design, and actually the one that had the family room above the garage, which is an extra about 400 square feet, I believe it was on Sales Court, sold for up in the higher 6s. I'm not sure about this one. It's a unique set of features. To me, the price seems a little bit high. This one on Savaline is probably another one of my favorite picks. It's $645. It's 2,900 square feet, and it actually has a really nice design. There's a big kitchen here. You've got an archway leading to the dining room there. So dark hardwood floors, double sinks in the bathrooms. All those smart upgrades in there too. So this one should do well. There's not a whole lot of good stuff in that range, so I think they've pinned the price right on. Dixon is, I think, probably should have listed a little bit closer to what we were talking about before, with that Savaline one closer to the mid sixes, but it's at $695. It's got a real soaring ceiling. The photos are not very good here. I really like the floor plan. I think they've put a lot of money into the kitchen, although you can't see it because it looks like a Vaseline lens, and they put some money in the basement as well. I have a feeling this one may even show better than it looks in the photos. The basement's really nice, and the upgrades are there. They might get somewhere between the $650 and $699, but I'd be surprised if they sold at asking. And then we've got Nasagawaya Puslinch Town Line. Try and say that 5 times fast. $779 is the price on this one. I think it's 3,400 square feet, and it's got some nice decor. It's also got a little kick plate. So what you do is that's connected to the central vac, and you actually sweep your stuff there, turn it on, and it just sucks it right in. It's fantastic, and yeah, nice stuff here. The only thing is, it is far away. I mean, it's closer to Guelph than it is to Milton, and you start to see the price really start to decline. Once you get about 20-25 minutes out of town, we start seeing that the prices really start dropping. So that's what this one is. So if you want a lot more home and you're willing to drive an extra 5 or 10 minutes, you might actually really benefit from something like this. I think it represents very, very strong value. And that's the list. So that's 34 properties. Good grief. If you need any help with anything, we're definitely there for you. And check out the video Colin and I did. It's a lot of fun. I'll see you tomorrow.